In case you're an undergrad, you will likely need to compose at any rate one school-level research paper before you graduate. Composing a decent research paper can be overwhelming on the off chance that you have never done it. We're here to help. This guide strolls you through all that you have to do to compose a viable, effective research paper. What's more, get the passing mark you're after. Here are the means and assets you have to compose a solid research paper, just as an agenda to head toward. Be certain you composed a decent paper. Research composing can be a test, yet with a little practice, it can turn into a significant piece of your scholastic and expert toolbox. The process, the accompanying advances will assist you with composing an examination paper, beginning with only a task or brief, and winding up with an all-around created exposition. The means are: Stage 1, get acquainted with the task. Stage 2, pick a point. Stage 3, research. Stage 4, organize, investigate. Stage 5, form a proposition. Stage 6, create a diagram. Stage 7, write. Stage 8, edit for content. Stage 9, edit for sentence structure. Stage 10, reperuse and present your paper. Stage 1, get familiar with the assignment. This may sound self-evident, however, it's imperative to comprehend what your instructor or educator is requesting before you begin composing your exploration paper. Numerous understudies skirt this progression, and afterward, wonder why they get a second rate on a paper they buckled down on or were amped up for. It's regularly on the grounds that they didn't peruse the directions. Invest energy going over the task. Take a gander at everything your teacher has given you. Painstakingly read the composing task, prompts, reviewing rubric, or some other materials you've gotten. It may even be useful to feature and take notes on the task. Set aside some effort to see precisely what you are being approached to compose and how you will be evaluated on it. What's more, on the off chance that you aren't sure, inquire. Approach your instructor for an explanation before you even pick a subject. That way, you will be certain you are destined for success. Stage 2, pick a topic. When you comprehend what you're being approached to write in your exploration paper, it's an ideal opportunity to choose what to expound on. This can be overwhelming, however, don't get excessively offended. It tends to be exceptionally useful to expound on something you're keen on or energetic about, however, don't stress over picking the ideal subject. By and large, a questionable point can be perfect, with the goal that you can practice your capacity to equitably clarify contrasting positions, and even protect one if the task requires that. Utilize the rules given by your educator to help pick your paper theme. In the event that you have a point that you love, however you're experiencing difficulty fitting it into the rules, pick another theme. It will be simpler for you over the long haul to expound on a subject that fits the task. It's essential to be occupied with the point you're expounding on it, yet you don't need to adore it. It's likewise acceptable to understand that you can utilize this examination composing task as a chance to find out about something new. You will be to some degree a specialist in the theme before the finish of this procedure, however, you don't need to know everything at the present time. Stage 3, research. The Savvy Student's Guide to Study Skills. Also, presently what you have been holding up for research. This progression is really adaptable. Various individuals will inquire about for a paper in various manners. Be that as it may, it's essential to remain centered and move before long. All things considered, you despite everything need to compose your exploration paper. A few key things to recollect as you look into seem to be: 1. Skim, 2. Find solid assets, and 3. Don't disregard data. Most importantly, skimming. You don't need to peruse in full everything at any point expounded on your theme. Actually, you most likely can't. Get open to perusing things rapidly. Figure out how to distinguish key focuses and contentions without getting stalled and perusing each word. Next, find dependable assets. Despite the fact that this may negate what you've been advised, you can utilize Wikipedia to compose an exploration paper. In any case, you can't utilize that as the last source. You can utilize general sources like Wikipedia to get acquainted with a theme, discover watchwords that can additionally drive your exploration, and rapidly see a lot of data. However, for the data you use in your paper, you need to discover dependable assets. Take what you have gained from a Google search or Wikipedia article and burrow further. Look at the sources on the article, use watchwords from your web search to look through a scholastic database, or ask a specialist whether what you realized is substantial, and on the off chance that it is, the place you can locate a solid source expressing something very similar. In this way, just honestly, you can utilize Wikipedia as a beginning stage in your exploration. However, you ought not to refer to Wikipedia as one of the essential hotspots for your examination paper. At long last, don't overlook data. You can discover an article that says anything you need it to state. Did analysts as of late find that octopus DNA is made of outsider DNA from space? Are the towers on the Cinderella Castle at Disney World removable if there should arise an occurrence of a tropical storm? Did a cooking endeavor to kill George Washington by taking care of him harm tomatoes? You can discover articles affirming that each of the three of the past cases is valid. In any case, when you burrow further, unmistakably they're most certainly not. Because you discover one article expressing that something is valid, that doesn't really mean you can use it in your examination. Work to see the entirety of the various perspectives and ways of thinking on your point. This should be possible by perusing an assortment of articles, perusing a book or article that gives a diagram of the subject and fuses various perspectives, or conversing with a specialist who can clarify the theme inside and out. Stage 4. Organize your research so you have the entirety of this data. Presently, how to manage it? Stage 4 is tied in with getting composed. Like research, various individuals have various inclinations here. It can likewise rely upon your task. A reference index, truly, book composing. This is a rundown of the books, articles, and different sources you have utilized in your examination, is useful with regards to sorting out your exploration. In the event that your educator expects you to turn in a list of sources with your exploration paper, recall step number 1, you should definitely know precisely what the task is at this point. Make a list of sources that meets the necessities for the paper. In the event that you are simply making one only for yourself, consider how you might want to sort out your examination. It may bode well to bookmark assets on your internet browser or make a computerized reference index that permits you to interface the assets you found. You may favor a printed rundown of your assets, or you should record all you have discovered that is applicable to your undertaking on note cards or clingy notes and sort out your examination paper on a table or the floor. Stage 5. Form a thesis. Since you comprehend what you've been approached to do, have picked a subject that fits the task, and have examined and sorted out that examination, you're prepared to explain your own conclusion, contention, or affirmation. Regardless of whether you aren't contending possibly in support of anything, your paper needs a proposal. A proposal is a short articulation that you, as analyst and author, put forward for the perusers of your paper as to what you are attempting to clarify or demonstrate. A beginning stage when composing a theory may be to compose a one-sentence answer to the inquiry, "What is your paper about?" The appropriate response may be something like the accompanying models, "My paper clarifies the connection between pooches and people. It's about college approaches on rookie living nearby. I expounded on C's on marriage in Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. It's obvious that it wasn't so difficult. Yet, what is critical to recollect, is this is only a beginning stage. Numerous understudies stop in that spot and afterward don't comprehend why their teacher reviewed them inadequately on their postulation articulation. A postulation should be complete, and ought not to be about you. Thus, you may change the above responses to proclamations like, "The connection among canines and people goes the two different ways, not exclusively are hounds man's closest companion, yet human collaborations have impacted the way that cutting-edge pooches conduct and life systems." Numerous colleges require green beans understudies to live nearby for their first year, which keeps understudies in the clear, assist understudies with improving evaluations, and improves their probability of remaining in school. In Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, marriage is viewed as various things, including as a social versatility apparatus, as an error, and as a valuable organization. Would you be able to see the contrasts between the principal set of sentences and the second arrangement of postulation articulations? It may take a couple of attempts, however, work to dispense with words and expressions like, "I think," or "my paper is about." It is likewise significant not to be excessively obscure. Try not to be reluctant to offer a solid expression. On the off chance that you take a gander at the above models, every one of them makes a particular point about the subject. Another vital aspect of making a solid theory articulation is ensuring that your postulation is questionable. That doesn't mean it's disputable or especially obstinate, however, it means that somebody could oppose this idea. For instance, somebody may contend that people haven't impacted canines such much that requiring rookie understudies to live nearby is definitely not something worth being thankful for, or that Marriage in Austen's Pride and Prejudice is about sentiment. Another approach to check whether your announcement is questionable is Pride and Prejudice a book? Truly. So the announcement, Pride and Prejudice is a book composed by Jane Austen, doesn't function as a proposal in light of the fact that nobody could oppose this idea. There is no reason for composing a whole exposition about that conspicuous certainty. Checking whether somebody could contend with your proposal explanation is a decent method to ensure you have composed a solid, explicit theory articulation that will direct you as you compose your paper and acquire a passing mark for your endeavors. After you have attempted to make a particular, questionable, complete proposal proclamation, this is somewhere else that it could be useful to check in with your teacher, a composing place coach, or another confided in instructor or guide. Show them your proposal proclamation and inquire as to whether they think it is an amazing proposition that you will manage you as you assemble your exposition. Stage 6, make a blueprint like a book reference. The way that you make your blueprint may rely upon your task. In the event that your instructor requested that you turn in a framework, make certain to make a layout that follows the model, rules, or prerequisites you have been given. On the off chance that you aren't required to compose a blueprint, it can, in any case, be a useful apparatus as you fabricate your exploration paper. Making a layout is extremely about organizing your paper. Try not to be excessively conventional, yet it very well may be useful to follow examples and aids. In secondary school, you may have composed 3 or 5 passage papers, and it's alright to utilize those equivalent examples for a school explore paper. However, be certain that whatever design you pick bodes well for your paper. In the event that you have 2 primary concerns in your theory, 3 or 5 principal areas probably won't work for your exploration paper. On the off chance that the task requests that you present a theme, clarify various conclusions on the point, and afterward pick and clarify your supposition. At that point your paper most likely needs 3 principal segments, one for every one of those goals. As you make a blueprint, ponder what you are attempting to clarify or convey in your exploration paper and what structure permits you to do that in an unmistakable, sorted-out way. It ordinarily bodes well to have a presentation and end, however, what goes between will change dependent on the substance of your article. The laying out phase of delivering your contention is an extraordinary opportunity to consider awful types of argumentation you ought to maintain a strategic distance from. On the off chance that you aren't acquainted with legitimate paradoxes, set aside some effort to audit the most widely recognized false notions. Your evaluation could rely upon it. Stage 7, compose the shrewd understudy's investigation abilities. Composing and afterward, at long last, it's an ideal opportunity to really compose your paper. You may feel like you ought to have begun composing sooner. At the same time, have confidence, the work you have done as yet is significant. It will assist you in making a solid, clear, intriguing examination paper. As you compose, don't be a stickler. Try not to stress over finding the ideal words, utilizing the ideal sentence structure, or making the ideal title. There is an ideal opportunity to consummate your exploration paper as you alter. At the present time, you simply need to compose. It may be useful to investigate your exploration before you begin composing, however, don't compose legitimately from your examination. In case you're thinking to and fro between your assets and your paper as you start composing, it's anything but difficult to duplicate thoughts without truly making your own work. You have done a great deal of work as of now, so believe that and work from memory as you compose your examination paper. It's alright to look into a particular statement or measurement, however when all is said and done your thoughts ought to be your own now. Working from your own thoughts will assist you with maintaining a strategic distance from copyright infringement. Counterfeiting is the uncredited utilization of another person's words or thoughts, regardless of whether you intended to utilize them without credit or not. This sounds terrifying, yet it doesn't need to be. In the event that you follow the means illustrated in this guide, you can be certain that you've made your own paper that expands on the thoughts, composing, and work of others, without taking, duplicating, or copying. On the off chance that you quote something in exactly the same words, you have to refer to your source. Use quotes and notice the wellspring of the statement. You will likewise need to remember more data about the statement for a works referred to or references page. In the event that you rework, that is, you don't utilize the specific words, yet utilize somebody's thought, it's as yet critical to give credit. You needn't bother with quotes here, however, it is critical to make reference to where the thought originates from. In the event that something is a typical actuality, for the most part acknowledged, whether you can discover the reality expressed, without credit, in at least 3 sound sources, you don't have to make reference to where the thought originates from. For instance, Bill Entryways is a tycoon who established Microsoft. That is a typical actuality, you can think that it's expressed in various reliable sources. Be that as it may, if your paper is about the why behind Bill Entryways' riches, popularity, and achievement, at that point you're going to need to credit and refer to explicit statements and measurements, just as hypotheses regarding why the Microsoft very rich person is so fruitful. For increasingly about composition, see our section on writing in the Smart Understudies Examination Aptitudes. Stage 8, alter for content. Since you have a paper composed, pause for a minute to salute yourself. You have done a ton of work to get to this point. And afterward, return to work. You, despite everything, need to alter your paper before it's prepared to turn in. Recall how you should stress over being great? You, despite everything, don't have to stress, yet the time has come to make your paper as immaculate as you can. Start by altering for content. This implies pondering structure, association, wording, and length. You painstakingly sorted out your paper when you made a diagram. Since you have composed your paper, does that association despite everything bode well? Provided that this is true, fantastic. If not, what do you have to move around? Take a gander at how you've worded your sentences. Did you convey what you intended to get over? Would you be able to make your paper more clear or more obvious? This is additionally a valid statement to recollect. Stage 1. Does your paper incorporate everything the task requested? If not, where would you be able to incorporate the missing pieces? On the off chance that your paper is excessively long or excessively short, right now is an ideal opportunity to chop it down or develop it to a satisfactory length. Don't simply erase your decision on the grounds that your paper is excessively long. Try not to burn through your time playing with the text dimension and edges to attempt to make your exposition longer. Be cautious and mindful of these alters. On the off chance that you have to take something out, what bodes well to cut, and by what method can you resort out your paper with the goal that it keeps up a solid structure? In the event that you have to extend your paper, don't simply haphazardly include words or rehash things you have just said. Consider where you could extend or what you can include that fits in with the remainder of your paper, further builds up the thoughts you are introducing, or adds important data to your examination paper. When you have made all the progressions you think essential, read back through your paper again to be certain everything bodes well. Particularly when taking a shot at a PC, it is anything but difficult to leave or erase a word, sentence, or passage that you didn't intend to. In the event that you are sick of taking a gander at your exploration paper, offer it to a companion, tutor, or instructor and request that they investigate your paper and let you recognize what they think about the substance. Stage 9, alter for punctuation. It is additionally essential to alter for punctuation. This may appear to be overwhelming, however, there are heaps of apparatuses and assets that can help. Look at assets like Grammarly or Strunk and White's components of style in case you're uncertain of how to manage commas, semicolons, or run-on sentences. Like altering for content, altering for language structure may take a couple of run-throughs. In the event that you have to enjoy a reprieve, that is fine. It can even assist you with returning to your paper feeling progressively engaged, which is vital to getting and fixing botches. Stage 10, re-peruse and present your exploration paper. When you've completed stages 1 to 9, it's certainly an ideal opportunity to take a break. Give your paper a day or two, or an hour or two, on the off chance that you are running low on schedule, and give it a last read through. It very well may be useful to print a duplicate of your paper and read a printed version in the event that you have just perused it on a screen up to this point. You may see slip-ups or arranging issues that your eyes missed while perusing on your PC. When you have perused your exploration paper for the last time and twofold watched that your paper does everything the task is requesting, the time has come to submit. Make certain to adhere to any guidelines you have been given about turning in your examination paper. Likewise, give yourself an opportunity to investigate if things turn out badly. On the off chance that you attempt to print your paper 5 minutes before class begins, what are you going to do if your printer is out of toner? In the event that you should present your paper online at 12 p.m. and the Wi-Fi is down when you log in to present your task at 11:58 p.m., despite the fact that that is deplorable, it is as yet something you could have stayed away from by signing on with sufficient opportunity to tackle any issues that emerge before the cutoff time. Your instructor will acknowledge and regard your readiness, and it will probably affect your evaluations emphatically. Try not to be hesitant to connect with your teacher for help, however, be sensible and capable about it. In the event that you sign on the day preceding and see that where you should turn in your task is bolted or inaccessible, send your educator an email so they can assist you with presenting your paper before it is expected. Simply don't anticipate that they should help you in the night, at an end of the week, or minutes before a task is expected. A few teachers may, however, you are only fortunate by then. On the off chance that you get ready and give yourself an opportunity to turn in a task, you don't need to depend on getting fortunate about whether your educator is sitting at their PC and accessible to help you at the exact instant you email them. Assets your instructor or teacher. When composing an exploration paper for an instructor or teacher, it is essential to step back and consider why they requested that you compose this exposition in any case. More than likely, they are allowing you a chance to pick up something. Adapting frequently includes experimentation, committing errors, and posing bunches of inquiries. Try not to be reluctant to pose an inquiry. Truth be told, don't be hesitant to ask your educator heaps of inquiries. Notwithstanding, do make sure to be aware of them, their time, and your endeavors. It is essential to follow any headings that you have been given by your educator or teacher, to assume liability and not anticipate that they should accomplish your work for you, and to tune into the appropriate responses and counsel they share with you. Working with your educator and approaching them for help is a regularly disregarded asset with regards to composing research papers. Make certain to exploit this assistance, your paper will be all the better for it. Research bookkeepers. Another frequently neglected asset is the exploration administrator. Did you realize that, notwithstanding huge amounts of books and online materials, school and college libraries regularly have staff whose activity is to help answer your inquiries? Research administrators have some expertise in inquiring about. It may sound self-evident, yet take one moment to get amped up for how much this could support you in your exploration paper. These bookkeepers, as a rule, spend significant time specifically fields and subjects, so you can get explicit, master help that relates to your point. They can assist you with looking for assets, interface you with specialists in the field you are investigating, or provide you proposals about the guidance of your exploration and composing. Composing focuses. Notwithstanding research bookkeepers, numerous school and college libraries regularly house composing focuses. While look into curators can help you more with your exploration, composing focus staff can help you really compose your examination paper. You can as a rule plan an on-the-web or in-person meeting with a mentor or educator that will help you through any progression of the creative cycle. You should visit a composing community at an opportune time as you build up the idea for your paper, in the center as you battle to consider how to talk about one of your keys focuses, or just before you turn in your paper to be certain it's fit as a fiddle before it goes to your teacher for evaluation. Numerous teachers even give you additional kudos for exploiting composing focus administrations. Win-win. Wikipedia. As referenced before in this guide, you can utilize Wikipedia for basic research. Yet, on the grounds that Wikipedia articles can be altered by anybody and accordingly aren't 100% tenable, your teacher will probably disapprove of referring to it as a hotspot for your exploration paper. In this way, don't utilize Wikipedia as an essential hotspot for your examination paper. With regard to composing research papers, the reference area of a Wikipedia page is probably the closest companion. Much the same as you ought to refer to your sources toward the finish of your exploration paper, Wikipedia articles connect to their essential sources. You can utilize the rundown of references to discover books, articles, and other material that can assist you with finding dependable, significant essential hotspots for use in your exploration. Scholarly databases. Your educator may expect you to utilize peer-explored scholastic articles like a few or the entirety of the hotspots for your examination paper. As an undergrad, you presumably approach various scholastic databases that you can use to discover academic articles. On the off chance that you are uncertain of how to scan for articles in a scholastic database, it merits asking your teacher or an exploration administrator to enable you to learn. This aptitude will be a helpful one to have, and you will be effectively finding reliable, fascinating sources with regards to no time. Owl at Purdue. This is anything but a nighttime flying creature that lives at a college in Indiana, but instead the web-based composing lab, Owl, at Purdue College. This online asset offers various accommodating composting materials, remembering data for how to refer to sources, language structure rules, picking a subject, and even how to compose an exploration paper. You can look for explicit assistance, or peruse assets by class. This free site is an absolute necessity to visit online assets when composing a school inquire about the paper. Grammarly. Grammarly resembles a super-fueled spell checker. It's a free Chrome expansion that permits you to alter your composition. You can reorder your paper into the Grammarly editorial manager and get spelling and syntax counsel that is anything but difficult to actualize. In case you're searching for extra assistance or need to utilize the product without leaving Microsoft Office, look at Grammarly Premium or Grammarly for Microsoft Office. Be that as it may, it's essential to recall when utilizing this product, or any spelling or punctuation checker, that it is a PC and along these lines doesn't generally comprehend your composition. You have to go over every proposal made by the product and ensure that it is without a doubt rectifying a mistake or improving a sentence and not changing something that you intended to state. That being stated, Grammarly is incredible at getting mistakes and gives straightforward clarifications of spelling and language recommendations so you can proficiently make changes to your exploration paper. The components of style. William Strunk Jr. Also, E.B. White style aids might be for the most part a relic of days gone by. You have most likely utilized a spell checker or Googled where to put a comma, however, you may never have opened a style direct. Notwithstanding, this book, The Components of Style, has supportive counsel and data about composition. On the off chance that you are searching for direction with regards to altering your paper, getting a duplicate of this book might be exactly what you need. The book comprises of various areas, some with explicit language structure and composing rules and definitions and others with general composing exhortation. One standard that merits knowing, regardless of whether you don't peruse the components of style, is rule number 17, exclude unnecessary words. Remember that as you alter your paper, it will assist you with creating an unmistakable, solid, succinct research paper that your educator will appreciate perusing and, in any event, reviewing. Style aids, MLA, APA, Chicago, and so forth. You may feel like we continue saying this, we do. However, it's for a valid justification. Realize what your exploration paper task is requesting. That is particularly significant with regard to designing your paper. There are a few diverse organizing styles and every explicit principle and rules. The fundamental three are MLA, APA, and Chicago. Your teacher likely gave you directions on which style to utilize, and if not, you can ask which they like. Each style has an alternate name for the rundown of sources you join toward the finish of your paper, various principles about headers and page numbers, and so forth. Numerous educators will deduct focuses from your evaluation on the off chance that you don't hold fast to the style they have approached you to for your examination paper. A few instructors may not acknowledge the paper by any stretch of the imagination. You can discover more data about whatever style you are working with in a style control or from the OWL at Purdue. Agenda. In the event that you are making a paper without any preparation, start by perusing the above strides to figure out how to compose a solid research paper. In the event that you have just composed a paper, go over this agenda to guarantee that it is prepared to turn in. Does your paper satisfy the entirety of the prerequisites that the task requested? If not, or on the off chance that you are uncertain, glance back at stage 1. Did you adhere to a point that fits the task? Reference stage 2 as you thoroughly consider theme determination. Are your sources solid, dependable, and legitimate? Take a gander at stages 3 and 4 for help considering your examination. Do you have an unmistakable, questionable theory proclamation? For help with proposal articulations, make a gander at stride 5. Is your paper sorted out in a coherent manner that is straightforward? When pondering layout and structure, see stage 6. Did you appropriate? On the off chance that you have any questions, look at stage 7. Did you edit for substance and sentence structure enhancements and mistakes? See stages 8 and 9 for more data about editing and altering. Is your paper appropriately arranged? See stage 1 and look at the assets area for data about being certain your paper is organized effectively. It is safe to say that you are set up to submit effectively? Peruse stage 10 for a couple of last recommendations before you turn in your examination paper.